Chapter 90. Listen and repeat. Conversation. What did he have to do? He had to go out of town. What did he do as a result? He postponed the meeting. Why did he postpone the meeting? He had to go out of town, so he postponed the meeting. What did he do? He jumped into deep water. Could he touch the bottom? No, he couldn't. How deep was the water he jumped into? He jumped into water so deep that he couldn't touch the bottom. He injured his leg very badly. He couldn't play in the big match. He injured his leg so badly that he couldn't play in the big match. He drove terribly fast. His passengers were frightened. He drove so fast that his passengers were frightened. Did he save much money? He saved a lot of money. What was he able to do with it? He was able to start a business of his own. How much money did he save? He saved so much money that he was able to start a business of his own. There was a lot of homework. I couldn't finish all of it. There was so much homework that I couldn't finish all of it. He asked a lot of questions. The teacher couldn't answer all of them. He asked so many questions that the teacher couldn't answer all of them. There were a lot of people on the bus. She couldn't get a seat. There were so many people on the bus that she couldn't get a seat. Where was there a crowd? There was a crowd at the parade. Could you see anything? No, I couldn't. Why couldn't you see anything at the parade? There was such a crowd at the parade that I couldn't see anything. There was a thick fog. We couldn't see the oncoming cars. There was such a thick fog that we couldn't see the oncoming cars. Vocabulary according to prep, actually adult, and contribution, correspondence course, demand, diploma, dressmaking, extensive, famous, fog, foggy. Vocabulary, Part 2. Free, further, further education, grant, higher education, oncoming, parade, postgraduate, private, quietly, rapidly, resident, respect, state, status, taste, thick, towards, undergraduate, verbs, to attend to, cater for, to compete with/against someone, to continue something, to do/doing something, to merge, into, with, to provide for. Nota su further. Il termine further è il comparativo irregolare dell'aggettivo e avverbio far. Forma farther barra the farthest, further barra the furthest. Riassumendo, further uguale distanza reale, materiale. Further uguale distanza figurata o in più, esbeno ulteriori dettagli, proseguire, continuare. Further. The regular form is used only to indicate concrete physical distance. The irregular form, in addition to this same meaning, also has the figurative sense of addition or continuation in time. Example: the shopping center is farther/further than you think. I'll try to get further information. Reading. There are thousands of university students in Britain and many universities to offer them an education. These universities compete with each other to attract students to their courses. In addition to their undergraduate courses, which usually cater for students aged between 18 and 21, universities also offer postgraduate courses to enable older students to study for higher degrees. The most famous are still the old universities of Oxford and Cambridge, but the new universities have also won status and respect for themselves. A very new university is the Open University, which has no resident students but offers correspondence courses in many subjects and makes extensive use of radio and television. Not all higher education is at universities. Many students study for degrees and diplomas at polytechnics, and a large number of them continue to live at home and commute to their classes. Colleges of education have changed rapidly and no longer just cater for teacher training. They now offer various degree and diploma courses to students who are preparing for other careers. Many of the old colleges have, in fact, merged with polytechnics. There are also colleges of further education that provide for students who have left secondary school but wish to continue their studies. Many of these students later go on to universities and polytechnics. There are also colleges of adult education that offer a great variety of courses to older students who want to study in their spare time. These students study for many different reasons and do not usually get any final qualification. Housewives study dressmaking and cooking, businessmen attend classes in French and German, and foreigners who are living and working in Britain go to English language classes. Because of the great demand, evening classes are held in local schools as well as at the colleges themselves. Britain has both state schools and private schools. Parents who send their children to private schools, some of which are actually called public schools, have to pay fees, but state primary and secondary education is free. Higher education is entirely free only to those students whose parents have a low income. Most students have their fees paid and get a grant towards their living expenses, but their parents have to make a contribution according to their income. Until 1972 in Britain, teachers of different subjects attended 3-year university-level courses at colleges of education. Since that year, many of these teacher training courses have been transferred to the education departments of universities and polytechnics and diversified. Today, colleges of education still exist, but no longer with functions exclusively dedicated to teacher training. The public schools are old private fee-paying schools, such as Eton, Harrow, Winchester, etc. They have been preparing students for university admission since the Middle Ages. State schools, on the other hand, are public schools financed by the state and local authorities. Elementary and secondary education is free, but in many schools, a small attendance fee is required from students' families. Alongside the state schools, there are also secondary schools organized since 1868 under state supervision. In English, to express the idea of paying in reference to school or university fees, the verb to have is used followed by an object. Example: most students have their fees paid equals le tasse della maggior parte degli studenti sono pagate dallo Stato. Comprehension exercise. Are there many university students in Britain? Which universities are the most famous? Does the Open University have resident students? What does the Open University make extensive use of? How have many colleges of education changed? What kind of courses do colleges of adult education offer? What do the parents of most students have to make? Grammar clauses of result. He was speaking very quietly, so that it was very difficult to hear what he said. It was so cold that I had to wear my scarf and gloves. He was talking so rapidly that I could not understand him. There was so much dust that we couldn't see what was happening. There were so many people that we did not know where to put them all. It was such a long book that I couldn't finish it. In English, clauses of result, which indicate the consequence or result of the action or situation expressed in the main clause, can be introduced by different conjunctions. So that, this conjunction is used to introduce the consequence directly, without any antecedent in the main clause, similar to the Italian così che. Remember that so that can also introduce purpose clauses, in which case the verb is often preceded by shall/should or may/might. So plus adjective/adverb plus that. When the antecedent is an adjective or adverb, so precedes it. When the antecedent is a noun referring to quantity, it is preceded by so much, singular, or so many, plural. Such plus noun plus that. When the antecedent is a noun expressing quality, it is preceded by such, possibly followed by other adjectives. In result clauses, verb tenses depend only on the real time of the action, not on the tense of the main clause. In informal English, the conjunction that can be omitted in all the examples above. Grammar so in coordinate clauses. Mr. Hutton had to finish the report, so he stayed late. I didn't have much money, so I was trying to get a scholarship. The idea that one fact is the result or consequence of another can also be expressed not only by subordinate result clauses, but also by coordinate clauses, introduced by the conjunction so, preceded by a comma. This conjunction corresponds to the Italian quindi, perciò, di conseguenza. Note the grammatical difference between subordinate and coordinate clauses. The first are an integral part of the main clause and cannot be separated from it without losing meaning. The second are on the same level as the main clause and still make sense if separated. This becomes clear in the following examples. Main clause plus coordinate clause. I like John and John likes me. Main clause, independent. Coordinate clause, independent. Main clause plus subordinate clause. I like John because John likes me. Main clause, independent. Subordinate clause, dependent. Comprehension exercise. Answers. 1. There are thousands of university students in Britain. 2. The most famous are still the old universities of Oxford and Cambridge. 3. No, it doesn't. 4. It makes extensive use of radio and television. 5. They no longer just cater for teacher training. 6. They offer a great variety of courses to older students who want to study in their spare time. 7. They have to make a contribution according to their income.